talk about channeling. I'm going to use that word really lightly because I'm using that word channeling as how I see myself connecting to a thought, persona, collective idea that I believe is outside of me and bringing in information. And I'm going to bring that in a little bit more to make that make more sense. So this is going to be a long version. I really want to try and explain this in the best way I can. If I can break it down into chapters, I will when I'm finished. I don't know what I'm going to talk about yet. All I know is I'm making a video on how to channel. When people say, how do you channel? It's, okay, where do we start? Where do we start? And every single person would tell you something different if you ask them how to channel, because we're all unique. We all have our own experience. We all have our own ideas. We all have our own ways in which we do things. I do not want to say confirmation, but I feel like I've heard that 1,000 times every time I scroll through social media. But maybe it is. See, this is what I mean. It comes up with your beliefs and your ideas and what you are believing to be true. What do you need in the moment to say, yes, oh my God, that is my truth. Oh my God, yes, that is something that I believe in. So the way that I see it is you need to be open to being able to channel. And if you don't like the word, use any word, insert whatever you like in there. I know we hear different words, channels and downloads. Channel is when you are channeling information directly from a source and expressing it out. And a download is knowingly a piece of information that you have received that then you then express. However, the way that I see it and the way that I believe our existence is and how we see everything is, well, if we're kind of everything around us, how can it be a channel of something else if it is us? However, it is a different frequency and it is a different tone to where we may be sitting at in our current moment. So me as Anna, as this 3D being sitting here talking to you, when I decide, oh, I'm connecting now to the Arcturians, that, whoa, see, as soon as you say it, it happened. It changes the vibration of my body, the way that I think, the way that I hear, the way that I determine things or feel things. So it changes. So I get where we use this channel because it is a different frequency that is coming through versus when we're saying download, and you could be sitting there and you go, oh my God, I've just put this piece of information together. Now I see how that works. That's what I would consider a download. But push them aside. No one really cares about the words. If you're stuck up on the words, you're not going to get very far. If you want to bring in those other energies, if you want to connect to other things outside of yourself, and this can be versions of you, its only limitation is going to be your belief. What do you believe in? Do you believe there are other versions of you living in parallel realities? Do you believe you have a soul voice? Do you believe that you can connect to people on the other side? Do you believe you can connect to extraterrestrials or other type of collectives? Do you believe you can connect to innate objects, objects that we believe don't even have any vibrational frequency? It's going to be based on what your belief is, because everything I'm going to talk about is through my own experience. And if you don't know anything about me, I am that person who was all about, no, come on, that's made up, that's not real. I come from a logical background. I did not know any of this stuff or believed in any of this stuff. And I fought so hard not to feel or experience any of it. So I am coming from that person who did not believe in it. So I'm not that one who was born into love and life and lived this life of, yes, I'm always connecting to something, myself, my God, whatever it is. I've come through this coming from a place of, nope, hardcore 3D, go work hard at school, go get a university degree, go get a job, get married, buy a house, have a car, save your money, retire, go on holidays, die. That's where I came from. There was no more of any of this fluff stuff outside. So when I first started to understand and hear about it and think about it, and it's all part of this whole journey over the last few years. You can have a look at my other videos if you want the whole backstory. I don't want to bore you with it all again. But once I started understanding that concept of it, there were different ways in which I would connect, because even though I'm that person who's like, okay, I want to learn this thing, so I want to learn it all now. Oh, okay, you've just told me 5 minutes of what I need to know. Okay, I got it. I got it. I got it. I don't need any more instruction. Or I'll be that person who's, okay, I need all the training. Give me all the training. I'm going to buy this. I'm going to learn this. I'm going to understand this. I'm going to copy this word for word. There's no in between. It's either I've got the gist or give it all to me. I've done both in many different categories. So I know what it's like, because I think the first real sort of opening for me was when I first heard about what the Akashic Records was. And I was determined to understand them, to get in there, to see stuff that everyone else was talking about. And I can't even remember the number now. It's either between 3 and 5 courses I bought. I am not kidding. I wanted to do that so hard. The thing is, when you are coming from this totally locked down existence of not believing in anything, even though your want to believe in something is not enough for you to be able to receive the information. So my want to, oh, listen to the Akashic Records, oh yeah, I really, really know it, wasn't enough for me to be in that allowance and receival state, because there was still many parts of my belief, my body, my beliefs in my brain saying, oh, that's not real. You just made that up. That's not a real vision. You can't see that. You can't feel that. It's not real. Goodness me, like you just made that crap up. So that's what I was dealing with, even though there was that part of me that wanted to and was driving and trying so hard. There was still that other part of me saying, nope, it's not happening. It's not real. Anyway, obviously we got over that, but I can't tell you that this is how you get over it. You are going to have to experience that in your own way, because the main thread through every single thing that I've done is to constantly work on something, or to feel something, or to move through something, or to constantly expand. I never once went, nah, fuck this, I'm going back to my muggle life. No, I did think that many times, but I didn't actually do it. It was always a choice of me wanting to continue to expand, of wanting to understand this whole new reality, of wanting to believe in this what was perceived as magic that was available to me, but my brain and my body and everything within me wasn't understanding, and the environment and the experiences around me weren't matching that belief or that knowing, that spark I had within me. So it was through me not giving up that got me to where I am now. And I'm not saying it was all roses along the journey. I'm telling you, there are a lot of times that I had to kick myself up my own butt and say, get up, like, get up. You can't continue. And that's the difference I see in people. I'm not saying that not everyone has that drive, but somehow you have to give yourself that drive. What helped me, and I am so grateful for social media and the way that we can have access to so much stuff for free, is surrounding my world in people who are doing or being the things that I wanted. Surrounding your Facebook feed with other people who are spiritual or coaches or healers or whatever it is, surrounding myself in those worlds, listening to those people speak truths, listening to those people tell us of their experiences of where they were here and now they're here, constantly being in that, even if you have no money. Of course, along the way, I've engaged in many different mentors, coaches, courses, programs, tools, modalities, certifications. Like, the list is long. But surrounding yourself in that, even when you have no money, even if you're just looking at people's social media, their posts, following them on TikTok, watching their YouTube videos, getting their emails, being in that energy is what is going to help you strive and move towards those things that you really want when you're in that place where you can't give yourself enough oomph or encouragement. How many times do you look through a feed thinking, and then someone goes, oh, you can do it, blah, blah, blah. You're like, oh my God, I can do that. Or you get a tarot reading. Today is your day. You are going to make $10,000. Or the love of your life. Is it the next phone call you're going to receive? Whatever it is, doesn't even matter if it's not real. That is what is inspiring you. If you do not have the guts or the drive to do it yourself just yet, use what you have around you to help you. Because if that is your goal, if that's what you want to do, if that's how you want to grow, surround yourself with the energy of what you want to be in. If you are surrounding yourself with people or experiences or newsfeed or media or whatever it is that is bringing you down and giving you, I don't know what that was, the opposite of what you're feeling or what you want to experience, why continually surrounding yourself with that? Because I know originally I left all those groups and those paid, those joke pages of people putting other people down, or all these places where people were whinging about their life or making fun of other people. I had to remove all of that. Of course, I used to find that shit hilarious. Of course, I used to engage. Of course, I could get on board with, oh my God, yes, the system sucks. I have no money. It's not fair. These people, of course, we can sit in that. We can look at situations and whinge and moan about that. But if you're surrounding yourself in that, you're not going to grow into what you want. And I don't know why I feel like I'm on my soapbox now. I'm trying to talk about something really good, but surround yourself with the energy you want to be in. Surround yourself with the way you want to experience. But surround yourself with those people that you aspire to or want to be like. Not that you want to be, but the ones that are giving you that drive or that excitement. Even if you fill your feed with tarot readers telling you were going to make money today, do it. I don't care if you don't think it's real or it doesn't happen. It doesn't matter. That is going to help you and drive you and give you that motivation to allow you to continue to move into the direction that you want to go in. But that's how you keep that environment around you. I know there's sometimes and situations where you are still surrounding yourself with maybe not the people or the environment that you want to be in, but do it where you can. Do it in the places that you can control, so it does allow you to continue to making that choice. Because the number one thing is, regardless of what's happening around you, regardless of what your external circumstance looks like, you will always have you. You will always have your own heart, your own mind. You will always be able to utilize what you have right here to help you to move you into whatever it is you want to be doing next. So once you sort of get that out of the way, once that becomes your priority, once you decide that this is how you're going to be, and it doesn't have to be anything big. It doesn't need to be, oh my goodness, I need to be working on myself 24/7. It's having that intention. It's having that opening and understanding and knowing that this is what you want to do. This is what you're going to focus on, no matter what it looks like. Because I can tell you, not every moment is going to be amazing and full of roses and unicorns. It's just not. It's going to be messy, and you being open to that, to allow that, will sometimes bring up some crap that is not fun. It's going to bring up emotions. It's going to bring up stories. It's going to bring up beliefs. It's going to bring up past experiences around you that are going to make you question every single thing that you're doing and every single thing that you were believing and everything that you were trying to create in that environment around you. There were going to be things that are going to stop you at every turn. And if you don't have that drive and determination, you are not going to get through it. You are not going to get to that place that you want to be. And you're going to be in this constant struggle. And I can tell you, this is me, because I've been doing this for so long. It has felt like this constant push-pull effect where you are still, I'm trying, but you have to keep going. Let this be just a little bit of your encouragement to keep going, to keep going, to keep going, to keep going. Surround yourself with people who keep telling you that. Even if you listen, like I will tell you, there was a stage that I remember I could not continue because everything was so painful. I used to listen to, you know, those motivational videos, those I don't even know what you call them, like those business, sales, motivational, social media posts of people making these videos and written words of saying, you know, sleeping's for the weak and shit like that. So that would motivate me. I would watch those videos of those people telling me things and motivating me just so I would continue. Whatever it is, you use whatever you can to make and help you propel forward, because that's where you want to be. If you already had that desire to do it, you need to find a way to make it happen. So go do that, because once you do that, as you start moving through all that crap, and I know I'm making it sound like it's really bad, but it's not. It's only, that's our perception of believing that all this shit is bad. And it's not bad. It's because that's what we believe and that's what we feel. And that's this whole journey, is us to get to that place where we're no longer judging these things as bad. Yes, they may not be fun. Yes, there's other things we'd rather experience, but it's getting to the place of being an acceptance and allowance that is then going to get us to experience and feel all these other things that we want to feel. So for me, when I started getting into those Akashic records, and once I could suddenly start feeling into that and seeing that and knowing that and getting these confirmations, because when you're in that space of not believing and not understanding, your logic is going to kick in a billion freaking times a day telling you that's not real, that's not happening. But there are a lot of key moments that allowed me to put pieces together, just a few, but they were just enough to allow me to continue going. Like, especially with the Akashic records. I remember I did one of those guided meditations on YouTube, and it was going back to a past life. And there was a vision I saw of a Mongolian warrior on a horse. This was also a vision that I'd had another time before, as well as when I actually got an Akashic reading, someone mentioned it. So there was a way that that image and that idea and that thought was solidified from different angles where I went, okay, there's something to this. And it's just these little pieces that allow us to continue, because we will see, feel, hear, and know all these things without any physical proof. But it's only these little tiny pieces that allow us to accept it. Like when it's, oh, you know, I'm thinking about the universe or whatever, and you see 111, you're like, oh my God, it's listening. Or, oh, I want to connect to a loved one, and you see a white feather, you're like, oh my God, they're here. And all these unexplainable events will suddenly become more and more to bring into your awareness and allowance to solidify these new beliefs, and for you to sort of lock in what you think you know, to make you sort of give you that little piece to start to know. So for me, once I started opening to that, and my mind, of course, my mind went a million different ways, because I've always been that person that didn't align with a lot of what everyone else was saying, with where you can only be this type of starseed, you can only connect to this collective, or you can only come from this sort of being, or this type of idea. And I didn't see it like that. I didn't feel it like that. And I kept trying to find my place within all these other spaces. And I never found a home that would fit. I was always that person who was this image of me with multiple different options all the time, through meditation, through connecting, through readings. Even in my dreams in the beginning, it started with just flashes of, like, not even every second, it was every sort of images of different locations. And I mean, like, so many locations, like from planet locations to geographical locations within Earth, and just these, then it was faces, all these different faces. And that's how it sort of started with my mind, and me thinking, oh my God, what is happening? And it was very much like that Michael Jackson, you know, black and white, with when they first started doing transitions now, because people do transitions all the time, but it was very much that of all these images, like, oh my God, I'm losing my mind. What is happening here? And that has evolved over the years, where those images then started to become writing. They became symbols. They became different type of images and faces. So for me, most of it, after I unlocked light language, which you can find out and understand more about your own light language and what you believe that is, but being able to speak different tones and to code in different frequencies the way that I was feeling it, and then being able to draw symbols, then the images I would get in my mind were from, well, I don't know where they're from really. They were different writing. So every time I blinked, every time I closed my eyes, I would see a different writing. I got to the stage where I thought, oh, I got to write these down. I've got to, and you couldn't. They were too quick. They were like this. It's like, oh my God, how many different styles of writing can I see? And by writing, I mean, you can go over here and go from hieroglyphics to something like cuneiform, which is like the old Egyptian or Sumerian or something that's written on tablets, to the way that you typically see light language now, to just made up stuff. And if you look at my desk, there's shapes and writings everywhere. I'll put in some examples in here to show you. At different times, that's how energies were coming into me. So when I was doing light language, it'd be different sounds. So that's when I could connect to the more of the original type energies with the Arcturians and the fairies and the dragons and things like that, was through sound, was through using tones through my hands and writing and drawing. And that's what sort of opened the door. And as I was in the environment of listening to more people talk about different starseed races or collectives or different beings out there, I opened my mind up to so much more possibilities. I worked with some coaches and mentors where they were connecting to certain energies, and you could sort of bump up to their energy so that you could tap into the energy of who it was. And of course, being me, I went down this path of, I'm going to get every single collective and I'm going to connect to every single one. And I'm pretty sure one of these books around here has a list of every single alien race, collective, thought, idea I could find at the time that I wanted to connect to, because I knew from having these few little versions of connection that there was a possibility that they are all going to feel different. They're all going to have different messages. And I'm not going to lie, I also thought, how amazing am I that I can do all that? Because that's when your ego's nice and big way back in that early awakening stage, because you think, oh my God, I can do all these amazing things. Oh my goodness, you do, and you can't help it. You cannot help it. You cannot help to think that I am God and I'm going to help you all through this amazing experience. Don't worry, you get past that as you move through them. But as you get past it, you'll start to see where other people are in it a lot more, because there used to be ways in which I could pick up the subtlety of tones in the way people spoke, the way they wrote, where you'd read a sentence, go, okay, that's fully aligned. And then one sentence after, you're like, that's nope. And then it will come back and everyone's like, oh, what are you talking about? No one understood, because that's how I was seeing it. That's how I was receiving it, because I didn't understand as much about our energetic tones and our codes and our frequencies. But it is all about the uniqueness and the way in which we hold everything ourselves, and what it looks like for us, what it feels like for us, what it could be for us. So that's why I'm sharing the way it worked for me. It doesn't mean it's going to work for you. Anyone who tells you, okay, you need to do this, no, that is something that worked for them. May work for other people, that there's no guarantees in any of that. I would rather explain how something worked for me, how this sort of came about, to open you up to a possibility of how it may work, or to give you the codes or the information you need in order to find your own way to do whatever it is you need to do. So for me, with these different collectives, with the bringing on a light language, with the opening and understanding, with working on my beliefs, working on my shadows, being open, driving towards everything, different collectives would come in. And it would be sometimes they would come in instantly. Sometimes someone would talk about something I would see, and then suddenly that would unlock. Or someone would say something which would make me then try and tap into something else, and that would unlock. Sometimes I would just see flashes of things, like with the Lyrans. I saw whiskers for a few weeks first. Then eventually I saw this lion face. Like, it wasn't just Lyrans, please come in now, and boom, they're there. It was not like that in the beginning. It was like a tuning. And I remember someone said that to me once, that when you do the light language, because they are different frequencies, and some of them are very high vibe and they are very different to what we're used to experiencing, that they do need to tune you. So that's when you get the headaches, that's when you get the dizziness, that's where you get floored for days. And I can tell you, at the time, because you hear people talk about, oh, ascension systems, symptoms. And it's true, you do get to feel these, because we are just these bodies. We're only just used to experiencing what we're experiencing. If we're trying to increase our vibrational state, yes, we're going to have to practice. We're going to have to allow things in, allow it to move, to bring things in, to get us to sort of tune to that. So there was a lot of that went on. And I can tell you, even now, sometimes I tap into energies, and then you'll be like, oh my God, I'm so tired, or I want to drink like 4,000 liters of water. It still happens because they're different frequencies. And I used to dismiss that a lot and go, it's easy. I'm just going to tap into anything whenever I want. Not, it just floors you. So having that experience brought in a lot of different entities for me, brought in a lot of different energies, and allowed me to feel them and experience them. But it was more in the way of what people were telling me around me. It was more of trying to be like other people in the way that they were connecting. And we do that. We can't help that, because we don't naturally or trust what we know yet to do it in a way that works for us. So we will copy, we will mimic other people, we will want to be like other people, we will try to do things like other people. And there's nothing wrong with that, as long as we move past that. As long as we're aware of it. We can't sit in that forever. Eventually you will move past it, although I do see a lot of people who still sit in it, I'm not going to lie. But what happened was, once I was able to experience that and feel all that, because there was a lot of love and light attached to it, I didn't solidify and lock into the belief of the whole light thing. And that was when, and this is another whole story that you can find a video on. It's going into the dark, to the opposite side of the light, and seeing something totally different to all the love and light and oneness. And it was through that I became a different being. I connected to different things in different ways. And through that experience then allowed me to merge sort of both worlds together, to become a place where I created my own existence within my mind. Instead of it just being all light or all dark, it was what I call the luminescent field, which is where I just saw, and these are all the images that I have. These are all the things that I connected to within my mind. This was the story I created within myself of how I saw people, how I saw our existence. And it was these threads of color, these codes intertwined within each other, and the way that they move and attach and detach. And this is how I became this luminescent field within my mind, and understanding that we have these colored codes, and this is the way we connect and not connect to things. And we in and out with different subjects, different ideas, different thoughts, different realities, different experiences, is through these codes, through these tones and frequencies. And once I was in that state of my own existence, I let everything else go, because I didn't need to attach myself to anyone else's beliefs. And I found anyway, everything everyone was saying, I'm like, oh, that's not the be all end all. There's another version of that, or there's another viewpoint. And I had to pull myself away from listening to those thoughts of others, so that I could just sit with myself, because I knew even prior to that, the watching others and seeing others and trying to express or create like others was fierce. And the only way I could see that I could be myself is to detach from it all. So there were no more programs, there were no more coaches, there was no more training, there was no more learning. It's Annie, you've got enough now, so do it on your own. And so that's what I did. I detached from everything. And then I was able to start listening to myself, listening to the purity within myself, to create things for myself. And that's where I really moved more into that creative aspect of who I am, and the whole idea of creating in the online space, which is where I'm at now, of helping people get into social media and create digitally their content or their offers or their stories or whatever it is, to express in a way they want to express. That's where it kind of all started, because I detached from everyone else. And it was through that, in that moment, where I let go of any other tool and anything else that I had used along that way to help me. So that's where I let go of all the oracle cards. And I had like about, I don't know, 100 sets of oracle cards and tarot cards. You can see down here, the only ones I kept were those Kim Kranz ones. I had 4 different sets of hers. That was it. I sold 100 different sets of cards, and it was because I don't need them anymore, because I got my own intuition. I got my own thoughts, my own beliefs. I'm connecting to myself, and that was it. And that was the journey I was on. That's where I started to create. That's where I started to be more of myself. That's where the birthing of the books, that's where the solidification of the way my business looks like. So that's where it started to grow. It wasn't from bringing in any energies. It wasn't from channeling things. I was talking to what I felt was just my higher self. And it was just me and my higher self. All my guides, all those other connections I had made over the past few years disappeared. It was like there was no one left inside my mind except me and my higher self. That was it. And so that's what I was using for a while. And like with anything, we're constantly expanding and growing. And as we sort of moved through all these different sort of things that I was creating and experiencing, it was only recently we started to come back again, because this is what I talk about, the spirals, and how we're constantly expanding and moving up and down and around through these new awarenesses and knowings and understandings, that I decided to reconnect to everything. And it wasn't in a way where I felt a lack, but it was in a way of where my beliefs had come to a place where I hold the belief that, as a creator of everything around me, that all these collectives, all the historical stories, everything that we do, have, see, be, think, believe, is created by me. And like with me, because still my logic's still in there, wants to prove stuff, okay, let's start connecting to these energies, because they're me anyway. Let's see what information I can get. Let's see if I can still connect to them. So that's why I started, I think it was even last year, I started a whole Maven journey, which is like, it was like a journey to self using a couple of different archetypes. So we started with that. And then recently it was more of the love aspects and the duality of different archetypes of who we are, as well as channeling these 12 different gods and goddesses and belief systems. Oh, okay. See, when I speak about it, they but it was through bringing that it really brought back and honed into me how different they feel. They came to me. That was not me going, oh, let's channel something. Okay, let's go pick some popular names. This is how it evolves into. This is how channeling happens. Eventually you'll get to a state where things will just come in on their own. There'll be names, there'll be colors, there'll be ideas, there'll be thoughts, there'll be energies, and you'll be like, oh, what's this? Oh, who's that? We will wake up with a name, or you'll hear a name, because some of those ones that I originally channeled, I'd never channeled before. I'd never spoken to gods before. Yes, I'd had different things come to me over the years in different ways, where you'd wake up and like, I'm not going to pronounce this properly, Persephone, I think she was one of the first ones where I woke up going, what the hell is that word? What is that name? I remember I had to Google it and blah, blah, blah. It was a whole thing. But that's how it happens now. All those 12 ones I did first just recently, I just wrote it all down at once. These guys are all coming in. This is what it's going to look like. And I just allowed myself to be open to bring those energies in and to bring the message in. Because when you tap into these different energies, when you feel their presence, when you are, I'm going to use the words cleaned out, when you are cleaned out enough of your own shit, you have so much more space in order to receive these different energies. Because I believe the archetypes, the gods, the stories, these mythical creatures that we tap into are all there to give us tools to allow us to expand and grow. And it is the collective belief within them and the way that we hold our own beliefs and experiences that we interpret the way we receive. And that's how we express what we feel. That's how we express what the message is. That's how we express what's coming through, what we're feeling. And so it's individual and unique for everyone. There may be similarities when there's certain energies of people because of those collective beliefs. So if everyone says, okay, we're all channeling Isis right now, everyone's going to be, similar sort of realm to how they channel that energy and the messages that they hear because of this collective existence. But then outside of this collective existence, it's all us anyway. So it's more of us. I see all of it as a tool for us to help us grow, because we are here just trying to get from this place into a more expanded place where we're more in a place where we feel connected to our ultimate self, where we're also enjoying and experiencing the life around us that we really want. So we are using all these energies to give us that drive, to give us those words of encouragement. It's no different to us filling our Facebook or TikTok feed with those people that we want to hear from, except we can now do it internally. We don't need to rely on a social media source. We don't need the internet to do that. We can trust and know within ourselves that we can connect to these energies when we need to, when we're feeling down, when we're feeling low, when we need advice, when we need encouragement, when we need to see something from a different point of view. Tapping into these energies is what is going to give us that. It's what is going to give us what we need in that moment to hear it. So that's why I've really tapped into them lately. And I can tell you every single one of them is a total different energy, a totally different message. And for me, the way that it is panned out, like whole existence, it's this little journey through these entities that just come through and have led me to this place where I'm at now. And I don't know what this place is, but there's going to be something on the other side of it. But they all just led onto each other. It was like understanding this piece or this point of view and this bit of information and seeing this about myself and then moving into this and then feeling this and then unlocking this and then experiencing this. It's all our own personal journey. That's me expanding and growing, expressing through this spiral. And it's from me speaking it out to you to allow you to be able to tap into whatever your belief is, to whatever your journey is going to look like, to bring in whatever information you need to bring in to help you where you're at so you can grow into where you're being. Because you hear that when we expand, when we increase our own vibration, it increases the environment around us. And that doesn't matter what you believe in, whether it's spirituality, whether it's religion, whether it's science, quantum structure science. It's that understanding and knowing that as you increase, as your vibration increases, the 3D existence around you is going to match that. It's going to bring that up as well. And so that's how experiences get better. That's how everything gets more enjoyable around us. And because you start losing those attachments and you just start becoming this totally different person. So for me now, where I'm at, being able to channel and bring in energies is pretty simple. And I know that won't be the case for everyone, but it's something that I feel like I always had. And whether you want to believe in blueprints or paths or journeys, or this was always supposed to happen, whatever, maybe it was. But if you look back at any sort of aspect of my life, whether it's a group of friends, whether it's likes, the things that you like doing, whether it's the shows you like to watch on TV, the food you like to eat, I like a whole variety of things. I don't connect to just one thing and stay there. I like being able to flip flop and choose and move beyond different things. even like my genetic DNA has like 14 different countries in it because it just is who I am. It's the diversity of who I am, even as a physical DNA structure, as well as the way that I've grown up, express myself, as well as the things that I enjoy doing. Even my business is an eclectic mess. It's just the way that I am, where I am literally like a sun and the whole world is revolving around me with these different pieces that I flop around to. So it's this spiral effect again, where we're just moving through different things and we're just expanding. Same as these paintings around me. Everything that I do is these different pieces and these different ideas. So being able to connect to different energies or different ideas or different beings is just part of who I am. And I know it's not for everyone. I know some people just channel dragons and they sit there and they have this huge expansive awareness and understanding of the dragons and their history and what it looks like for them. And that's who they are, because, you know, we can't all be the same. How boring. Whereas for me, I know I can connect to different things. I know if you gave me a name or an entity or something, I would find that energy. I would find a way to connect with that. I would be able to allow it to come in to give me the information I need in order to help me expand into whatever is next for me. And I think that's what all of it is for. It's all part of our journey. It's all part of our expansion. So in this super long video, all I've been trying to explain is that it is a journey. I can't give you a step-by-step instruction on how to channel, because it is a personal journey. It's going to be your journey, but the most important pieces I can give you and the things that I experience is to be open to it, to allow it to clean out as much as that 3D bullshit that you're holding on to give you that space to allow them in. Because when you're bogged down with thoughts and ideas and beliefs and experiences that you're not enjoying, you don't have any space or awareness to bring anything else in. And yes, you will need to be tuned. Yes, you need to do all those things that our 3D body needs, which is drinking good water and drinking a lot of water and eating the right foods and exercising and meditating and finding still moments, but also being open and willing to allow whatever wants to come through so that you can sort of sit in the energy of that and see what it feels like for you. If you just went and asked yourself a question. So if you said, should I have lunch now? And you had a response, who is that talking to you? Now, there's no right or wrong answer to that. That's going to be based on your belief. Are you talking to yourself? Are you talking to your brain? Are you talking to your body, your higher self, your soul, your source, your God, your guide, a passed over loved one? Whatever it is, you know there's a voice inside your head already. So all you need to do is to be open and aware and allow whatever else wants to come through so that you can listen, so that you can hear, so you can just use it more as a tool towards you connecting to more of that authenticity of who you are. And I can tell you, even from a social media point of view, this is very interesting, and this is just a reflection, is that those channels that I've been doing lately, if I spoke about them just as my own voice, they would be received differently in the way that I'm using them as a channel. So when I say the Arcturians have told me this is how you need to feel, this is how you need to connect, versus Anna telling you how to feel, how to connect, more people will resonate with the Arcturian voice because collectively they know that better. Versus Anna, they don't know who I am or what I'm doing unless I had a large following. Of course, they'd probably listen to me a lot more if they were believing what I was saying, but it's because of those collective beliefs that allows our voice to be told or to be felt or to be seen in different ways. So just remember, when you're connecting with those things, that there is the collective idea of what that is as well as your own. So that's why it's always going to be unique. So if you do connect and you do have things that you want to share, first of all, make sure it's not coming from ego and you're not copying anyone else. But secondly, know that it is unique as you are. So if this is what you received and this is what you heard, share it, because there's someone else who's going to connect with that. There's going to be someone else who's going to hear that. And I think part of our journey, part of our expansion is being able to express ourselves in a way so that the right people find us in the right moment with the right message in order to help us all expand and to all grow. So I hope that video helped in some way. If not, please reach out for some more help if you are trying to connect, or if you do want to connect to different energies out there, and I'll do my best to try and help you.